Man, sorry, dude. That freaking thing happens every once in a while on my computer. It's fucking drag. There's all right. Let me see if I can get back to that. Sorry, you all there. Never, never land. Too many things going on. Hopefully, I saved all my documents. All right.
Do any of you guys have your own website at this time?
Do I need a website to do a deal with you?
No.
Okay. My 101-year-old grandma has a website. So does that mean that I need a website to do a deal with you? I do not.
They say 94% of real estate deals start on the internet.
Yes, that's true. I don't have a website though, and I have had one before, but I never really got any deals from it. So,
yeah.
Dr. Michelle, how are you? Great to see you. Okay. All right, trying to get back to this. Sorry, I want to get back to this real quick. And then I'll do the case study thing after that, okay? This is kind of a case study also. Oh, wait a second. Okay, I did that already. Can you guys see my screen? I hope. Sorry about the crash and burn there. So anyway, this is a 12-unit mobile home park on 5 acres. So I'm getting it for $249 with 12 down, $1,800 a month. The income is, well, this is what we've agreed upon. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. The income is $2,600 a month, and my payment's going to be $1,850 a month.
How did you come up with that payment?
I guessed.
Okay.
Pretty much. Well, I just figured I wanted to make, because she actually had said it was $2,100 or like $2,200 a month. So I was thinking, okay, I want to have like a $400 spread. So she's got more money in it, or more income than she actually said. So she has told me time and time and time again that she is done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. So, So anyway, I had offered her cash, 210,000 too for it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, after she talks to her husband, who's like doesn't even want to deal with it, even less than she does, so I'm getting into it for about 5% down, I think, and $1,850 a month, and 2-year deal.
How many units are there?
There's 12.
12 units. Is there room for more? Or is it full?
Huh?
Is there room for more, or is it full?
Yes. It's on 8 acres.
Okay.
Hopefully somebody doesn't see this. And
how much do you get a spot? How much do they pay for their rent?
I don't have all those details down exactly.
Gotcha.
But she was saying she gets about, I think it was like 600 a spot or something like that.
I was gonna say, I was looking at a mobile home and it was in that $600 to $900 range.
So, I mean, that, you know, I got to do a little bit of more investigating, but that is I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think this is a good deal. They're super motivated. I want to help them out, get them out from under it. They don't, you know, she's like, I don't want to pay anything. I don't want to pay anything. I don't know if you guys heard me tell her. I'm all, look, you're going to pay zero. So, you know, and so I think this could be a good
What sort
deal.
of buyers are you going to be looking for?
I'm sorry, what's that? Say again?
Yeah, what sort of buyers you're going to be looking for? Because I've looked at mobile home parks and mobile homes quite a lot actually, but I'm just a little bit concerned about, you know, the disposition of them. So what sort
I don't know.
of disposition strategy?
I might even keep this one because the income's good, you know. Then I'll just find somebody that wants to partner up with me. I don't know yet. Until it gets under contract, I don't necessarily 100% think about that. I like the numbers though. So, I don't know. Does that make sense?
So what are your thoughts as far as, you know, where you're going to come up with that 12 GUR? You're going to look for a private funder?
I'll find a private person for sure. I have a couple buddies of mine that might want to do it. So my brother actually, which is going to be one of the case studies I'm going to show right now, he's getting $40,000 in cash on a place that he has up in Oregon. So, so you guys want to see how that whole thing worked out? So
Sure.
Go Zillow. Okay.
Nice job,
So
by
his
the way.
point,
Good luck.
huh?
Nice job. Good luck.
So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm feeling good about it. Okay, so can you guys see that? I just want to make sure you guys can see this. Can you see that? So,
I wonder what their down and dirty cash number would be just to walk away. And
well, I told
she
him
would like that.
215. I told him 215.
Yeah.
So, because I do think, I mean, with that income, it's a pretty sellable place, you know?
Mhm.
So, I think that will definitely work. Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna pull up a couple things. So here's this.
Just a quick question. Have you done any Airbnb stuff?
You know, I used to own 8 vacation rentals back in the day. So this was a number of years ago. We had them all over the place. We had a couple in Hawaii.
Yeah.
We had one in Lake Tahoe. We had one in Bodega Bay, which is out here in California. I had one in the French Quarter in New Orleans. Where else? All over the place. So, but that was back in the VRBO days. It wasn't really it wasn't an Airbnb right now, like what you would call Airbnb right now, which is way better. And it was great, but it was still work. It was still, you know, management, stuff like that. So, you know, I'm kind of thinking about, trying to find I really want to move to Hawaii part-time. So I'm thinking about maybe trying to get some little dumpy condo out there that's like small. But I realized in Hawaii, what I did is I had this really big 2-bedroom, unbelievable view place. This is in Maui and Kihei. And it was expensive, nice, granite, this and that, and the other thing. And then we realized that every time we were there, we never spent any time in the place. You know, we were always like out doing stuff. And then we ended up selling that place and we bought a little 400 square foot studio that was up the road a little ways. That was just perfect, you know, because all we really did is we were in and out. And we actually made more money on the smaller place than we did on the bigger place. Because it was cheaper So we would, it was always filled. Like we had to rent out or, block out our times to do it. So, okay. So anyway, does that answer your question? I mean, I hope I'm not rambling on here. So this is my brother's house.
Yeah, it's just obviously a lot of people are getting into Airbnb.
Yeah, it's a great way to go. I haven't done the whole, rent somebody else's house out and, do all that. But the reason why I did it before is because I wanted to go to all those places. And that's exactly why we bought them, is because we could go to all these other places. So here's my brother's house. It's a dumpy little 2-bedroom house that needs like a bunch of work, probably like $30,000 or $40,000. He's owned it for a long time. He broke his back and was living here and then had to move. Well, he wanted to and had to move to Mexico because it's warm there and beer is cheap. So, so he moved to Mexico. He's lived there for about 3 years now, and he's rented it out. And he's had these really lousy tenants that are there that are. So the tenants hadn't been paying rent. And so, or making it really hard to get rent from them. So, I told him that he needed, and the insurance had sent us a letter saying that you need to have this and that, the other thing fixed. And it was going to cost quite a bit of money to fix it. So what we did, I told him he needed to sell it because, it was going to cost a bunch of money to get it up to what it needed to be. And, he wasn't going to get the money out of it really for rent. And then also it was going to be, it's just the Oregon tenant landlord law is just brutal. So, so that was one of the main reasons why, because it wasn't going to be worth it to rent it anymore. So, and it's a really hot market up there too, because they had a ton of fires last year and the housing's like super limited. So we put it up at 185, and I had done just a really simple, I didn't have any pictures because the tenant was supposed to send it to me. And this is basically what I said: great fixer in green, blah, 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 apartment, motivated to sell. So I got a ton of calls from realtors. And then I also put it out on Craigslist that basically said, motivated seller, possible seller financing. Okay, so I got a ton of calls from the Craigslist ad actually. And then I got a guy who said he wanted to buy it for his son, and they would fix it up and so on and so forth. And they had $40,000 to put down and wanted to do it for a 2-year deal. So I said, great, let's do it. So they went out and checked the place out. They were going to pay 185. They said, hey, can we just do 175? Because the place needs a little bit more work than what we needed, or what we thought it was. And I said, okay, sure, let me talk to my brother. He was fine with it. So we set it up. So basically what the deal is he's going to pay 175. Let me pull up the deal. So here's the purchase agreement we're signing today. So he's going to pay 175. Okay. $1,000 earnest money. And then he's going to do $39,000 in cash down payment. Okay, so he's going to pay all the closing costs. The payment is going to be $750 a month, because he told me it's, so he's buying it for his son, and his son is going to fix it up and live there. And so basically so what the deal ends up being is it's 175, 40 down, $750 a month for 2 years. Okay. We're going to do a deed of trust that's going to be recorded, and a note, which which my brother, will, possibly, he might even actually sell it because he can get, I don't know what the exact deal, but he can sell the note at a discount if he wants. So, so basically he's going to walk away with about $93,000 when everything, because it's an interest only payment, $750. So he's going to walk away with approximately $193,000 when it's all said and done. So pretty cool. Any questions?
Yeah, what do you get out of it for selling it? Like, what's your cut?
Well, it's my brother's place. They're going to probably kick me down a little bit of money. I got to go back up there to go meet with the guy and do all that stuff. So, I'll probably get like $5,000 out of it or something. I don't know. I don't really care because it's a family thing,
Right.
So,
Well, not asking really a personal situation as far as your brother, but if it was just a normal stranger and you was doing this, what would be your normal cut you would charge?
It's it all depends. So, ideally I'd want to get $5,000 for it,
Okay.
or 10 or whatever. So it would kind of depend, like that deal. So 185 really is like top of the market for that place, because it needs so much work. So, realistically, if it was a wholesale deal, if you did your numbers correctly, the after repaired value on it is about probably 220 max, So if you did the numbers correctly, all right. So I'm just going to do so if I took 220, say, okay, and then I multiplied it by 70%. Okay, so that's 154, right? So then you'd minus out the repairs, which would be another 30 grand. Okay, which equals 124. So that's 124,000 minus it's 220 minus 70%. Okay, this is the 70% rule, right? Minus the 30,000 would be 124. And then if I was going to take a $10,000 fee, so then that would be minus 10,000. Okay, that would be 114. So 114 would be my most allowable offer on a wholesale deal. Okay. Well, he wasn't going to take that anyway. Like I was telling him, look, if you're going to pay cash, somebody's going to pay cash for it. Of course, this is a different situation, but when you're looking at a regular wholesale deal, your most allowable offer. Sorry, my dog's snoring. Your most allowable offer would be 114,000. So you can mess with the numbers. You can go 75%. You can't mess with the repairs because that's a fixed number. You can mess with your fee, which could be anything, 5 or 10 or 20 or whatever, but that's going to change the number. But if a wholesaler is going to buy this house, they're going to pay $115,000, right? So, and my brother wasn't going to do that because I think he paid 120 for the house when he bought it,
Right.
which was a number of years ago. So I'm not quite sure how long ago, but
so the numbers on those repairs, you actually guesstimated that from what your brother told you?
Well, so Nick has a really great way of doing it, but I do it a little bit different way. His way it actually ends up being the same. So I took the square footage, okay, which is 832. Okay, and then I multiplied it by, I think I did by 30. Yeah, so it was like 30, 35, I think, by 30, because I'm telling you, materials right now are crazy. So if you go 8 832, I think it was, right? Yeah, 832 times 30, whoops. Sorry, 832 times 35 equals, yeah. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's backwards, but it's 29,120, okay? So that's $35 a square foot.
So,
You know, some
okay.
people might think you're crazy at that, but that place needs foundation work. It needs windows. It needs siding. The kitchen and bathrooms need to be done. Kitchen and bathroom need to be done. The roof's in decent shape, but that's about it. You know, so basically everything that you'd have to do, it's going to easy. It's 30,000 easy, you know, to get it to where it would be 215 or 220 after repaired value,
Mhm.
you know.
And that
So,
number 35, you get that just because where is the area the house is in, or you just
I'm
saying
sorry.
cost of like that number 35 per square foot? Do you get that from the area that house
Yeah,
is in?
I
Okay.
mean, that's a high number. It is a high number
Yeah.
when you do that, but I'm telling you, the materials alone. Well, here's a great example. I had, so 2 windows in that place are like busted out right now already. They needed to be repaired. So that just for the 2 windows was like $350 for 2
Wow.
windows. And it was 6-week wait to get the windows,
Wow.
you know?
Wow.
So, you know, when you start talking doors, carpet, paint, you know, it has some really shitty, like those funky ass like tiles on the ceiling in there too, you know. It's
Mhm.
I mean, it's a really, the inside of the house really was like, I can't remember how old the house is, but it's like probably from the 50s or 60s maybe. So nothing, my brother never did anything. He broke his back, so uh he wasn't able to really fix it up, and he didn't really care either. It was just a place for him to be. So but that ended up being, you know, so I mean basically, like he was saying to me, he goes, because I was telling him after I went up there and really got a really good amount of money, what it would be, and he's all, well, do you have any matches? You know, can you maybe just like burn the house down? I can get insurance.
Mhm.
You know, so
Yeah.
but somebody could easily take that house down and then put like a nice modular or manufactured, and then that would raise it up probably a little bit too, you know. Um so yeah, so that's but that's going to end up being a really good deal for him. So he's going to end up getting like 193 out of it, you know. He's got some money he's going to be able to put down, and I mean for the down payment, which is good. And you know, the thing of it is too is highly, highly, highly unlikely that they're going to walk away from $40,000, you know, too. So it's another good quality thing. Like this is the kind of deal somebody had said to me recently. I was asking them about, you know, down payment, and they're all, well, I need as much money as I can get, or at least as much money that I'm going to laugh at you if you walk away from it, you know, which is kind of what we're doing in that deal. So that's one little case study. I want to do this other little case study. I'm working on this lease option deal. So give me a second here. You guys want another case study? You want to do calls? What do you want to do?
I like the case studies.
Let's do another case study. So let's see. So this one we're signing today also. Let's see. This is, we actually went through, so this is a lease option deal. And oops. I had it all set up for you, and then my freaking computer crashed. So this is the house. Really nice house, really nice neighborhood in Maryland.
Yeah, very nice.
These people are super cool. Probably some of the best sellers I've ever worked with. Somebody in the club actually referred me to this deal. And so we got it under contract for $520,000, $20,000 down, and $3,000 a month. Okay. So we put it out on Facebook. We put it out on Craigslist. It was kind of a weird place on Craigslist because it's really sort of out of the way. It's let's see, show you like where it is. It's like a golf club community that has all these great amenities and this and that, but it's really kind of like in the middle of nowhere in Maryland. So if you kind of look where it's at, so it's kind of hard to do the Craigslist thing. So there's the property, but look at how far away it is from any big towns. So like Baltimore is probably the closest town, but Baltimore was really kind of a hard place to list it because Baltimore's median house price is like $250 maybe. You know, it's not a big similar market, and it's still like a pretty long ways away, like an hour and something away from Baltimore, and obviously Philadelphia too is even farther away. So this one I was a little concerned that we were going to be able to find a tenant buyer. So we actually found a bunch of people that were interested in it on Facebook. And so what we ended up doing is we're going to sell it for $530,000. She's only going to put $20,000 down. So it's actually a little bit less than what we were going to do. But she's going to pay $4,000 a month rent. So, and that's going to be applied towards the purchase price. And then what the sellers are going to do is they're going to take that 20 and they're going to give us a consulting fee of $5,000 for setting the whole thing up for them. So we have a whole different set of paperwork that went with this. So we have, here's like the regular contract. It's basically this is my regular contract that I use, the lease option one. So it's kind of got all the stuff. So the contract that I use is a little bit different. It's a lease with an option to purchase, all in one package, as opposed to the multiple thing like Justin uses. But I think Justin's stuff is like really good. And you know, I've used it before too. So, and then I have an assignment agreement. That I'm using to assign it to them. So here's my assignment agreement. Basically, actually, sorry, this is the addendum. This is an addendum. So this is showing what the purchase price is going to be. That's different. How the option consideration is different. The lease payment's going to be $4,000 with $1,000 a month credit. All that stuff. So
you just assign it to the end buyer, Mark? You're not going to stay in the middle?
I'm not going to stay in the middle. I don't stay in the middle of too many deals.
Okay.
Unless they're like crazy good, you know, income. So my deal is like, so I used to do a lot of that, and I did a lot of seller finance deals. I stayed in the middle. I did a lot of crazy things that I don't like doing anymore. And just very similar to Justin, I like to just assign stuff away. So we used Paul Ritter to do the pre-qualification thing on all this stuff. So this is an addendum that he used that talks about the whole deal. And he was the one that recommended that we do the increased payment, because the payment was going to be, when she got the financing eventually, the payment was going to be more than $3,000. So he said, hey, look, she needs to pay $4,000 because that will be about what her payment's going to be when it closes in 2 years or whenever it's going to be. So so I used that too. He has this.
The sellers are happy because it's more than.
Yeah, so they get to keep the $1,000 a month extra, and they're just applying it towards the purchase price because we jacked the price up from 520 to 530. So and like I said, these are like some of the coolest sellers I've ever worked with, and they're like super, like they really kind of wanted to cash out. I mean, they're
so your
actually,
your fee is just a 5,000 then for the consulting.
right. So I'm going to just send them an invoice for
Yeah.
consulting on putting the whole deal together, because it actually ended up being a better deal for them.
Yeah.
So they got 530 instead of 520. They still got our down payment was going to be 21,000, but they're only getting 20. But now they're getting 4,000 a month instead of 3,000.
No wonder. Yeah, that's
So,
very good. Unless
yeah.
you did gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's very.
So there's like Justin talks about this too, like if you're gonna, like you can, so I mean, it's a little bit different, but if you were to say, let's just say I got $30,000, but I couldn't raise the price that much, you should be willing to maybe split it with the seller, right? Because like, you don't want to be the greedy investor, right? If you can't do the deal, but maybe you can take half of it, half the money, and put it in your pocket and still give a better deal to the seller. And the really cool thing about this whole deal that I'm working on, so the wife, Gina, is super in. Well, he's an attorney too, which is even better, because when I sent him over my agreement, he went through it for me and just said, hey, I think you need to change this and this and this, a couple little, nothing big, just some verbiage on it stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I love it whenever attorneys look at contracts, because it's free advice, So like, I always say, yeah, I'd love your attorney to look at my agreement, So anyway, he went through the whole agreement and we changed a couple things, just like I said, mostly verbiage things and just different little details and stuff like that. And so then we've been talking about, and the other thing that's cool about it too is this tenant buyer is actually going to buy all their furniture. And the reason why they're selling is because they just bought an RV and they're going to go travel all over the country and live in the RV now, which is kind of what I want to do too eventually. So that's sort of my long-term goal also.
Yeah.
But the wife, Gina, is super interested in the whole way we structured this deal together, and she's trying to find another thing to do while they're on the road. And so her and I are going to work together on doing deals, teaching her how to do it. And while they're traveling around the country, they're going to be looking at properties that we can do together as JV partners.
That's cool.
I know,
cool.
Isn't that cool? And they're like super cool people too. So it's like, I love
and a lawyer.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll have a partner and a lawyer. Exactly. So,
Cool.
so, but all that has to do with like creating relationships too, like the deal was not I didn't think the deal was that great of a deal, but I was like, okay with not making a bunch of money on it, because I kind of felt like there was going to be some good that was going to happen down the line too. That would be beneficial for everybody, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have the long-term gains for sure.
Right.
And so the actual buyer, how long does she have to cash out? What's the balloon payment on it?
So the deal is for 2 years.
Okay.
But Paul Ritter, the guy that pre-qualified her, he was on the Saturday show a couple weeks back he's the guy that does the lease option
Yeah.
pre-qualifying thing.
Yeah, screen the tenant.
Amazing stuff. I got to just show you all this crap that he freaking did. It's like unbelievable. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. Let's see. Okay, so just look at this. This is like just amazing. So it's 114 pages of stuff. So we have this little lease option addendum thing. This is all their credit and what they're going to put down and all their tax stuff. And like he's got them set up to get financing on it. Okay, I mean, this goes on and on and on and on. So he thinks that if they can do the $4,000 a month and they have a couple little credit things that they need to deal with, but nothing big, just kind of a, this is the other part of it. This is basically the same thing. That they can probably get it financed within the next year. So,
is that stuff in the VIP folders?
No, that stuff is not in the VIP folder. So this guy though is the guy, Paul Ritter. I don't know what his company's name is, but
screenthetenant.com. Screenthetenant.com. Yeah, you could just sign up with him. He's used by a lot of real estate people who are serious.
Right. Yeah, Joe McCall uses them.
Ron LeGrand.
Yeah.
Loads of them. Yeah.
But
he's good. He's very good. He's very, very friendly chap as well.
Yeah, and super thorough. So like if he's going to tell you straight up whether or not you can do a lease option with him or not. So I mean with your tenant buyer. So there's a lot of really, I mean, this is the first time we've used them, and I love it because I can just put that whole thing on him. And then when we had all that stuff, we're able to bring it to the seller, and the seller is going, oh my gosh, look at all this is like pre-qualified. And then they got to meet them, and so everybody's like on the same page, and we really have it all dialed in now. Everybody that we're supposed to close that deal today. So and right after this call, I'm getting on the phone with the tenant buyer to go through all this stuff and sign it. So it hasn't done it. Hopefully I didn't jinx myself.
Yeah, that area is the what they call the northeast area in Maryland.
Yeah,
very desirable.
Yeah, it
Very
looks.
desirable.
I mean, nice houses for sure. So I mean, how far away is that from you guys? That's a little bit of ways away, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm like 15 minutes from the Maryland line and from the Delaware line. I live in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And where that's at, it'll probably take me like a half an hour.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Shoot, I wish I would have known, dude. I would have hit you up. Huh?
Where would people work who live in that area? Would they be coming from Baltimore, or there was Wilmington as well, right?
Well, that's a desirable area. So where I live at, they have campgrounds, like a big campground out there. Not camp. Well, I can say campground, but I like $70,000, $80,000 plots and stuff like that, and put their camper on and stuff like that. That's what they call the Northeast and desirable because it's right there on the bay and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're like walking distance from the water on that
Right.
particular list too. So
Right. Right.
they have
Harvey,
like,
Yes,
a-
and
interesting
Harvey
'cause you
Grace is a historic town too.
oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
funny
Okay,
because you can look at the map and you can think, oh, this is in the middle of nowhere, but yet,
Right.
but then it turns out to be the most desirable area. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah,
Well, and
I
it's-
never heard of it. I never knew it was a desirable place until I moved to where I'm at in Pennsylvania, because it's a lot of guys that go out there, you know, from like spring to fall. They love it out there. It's right
Oh.
there by the bay, like I said, and do out there.
That's cool. Yeah, the one thing that's been really cool about this whole, ever since I got in the club, is that I've been, and I talk about this with our group, but I've been cross country like 6 times. I've been to like 42 of the states or something like that. But I am learning so much about the country right now, like all the different areas, because we do play, you know, we're looking in all these different areas. And like now I know this area, you know, and now and then, you know, a lot of the stuff in the South is kind of where we're working, and, you know, just different, you know, people in different areas, you know, Ed's in in Indiana, and, you know, Alan's in New Jersey, and, you know, Dr. Michelle's in Florida, and Corey's in Oklahoma City. And, you know, you can just go on and on and on. So you get to learn about all these super cool places all over the country, you know? So, and then, you know, get to work with all you guys too, which is pretty awesome. So anybody got any other questions or, you know, thoughts or whatever? It's a little bit different thing than making calls today, but I kind of wanted to kind of looking to sort of do a little bit more of the, you know, we're doing our calls in the morning, our group, and we were talking about this yesterday about, okay, well, what's the next step after you, you know, after you get somebody that agrees to the deal, you know? So that's kind of why I wanted to go through a couple of these little case study things, because, you know, that's the part that I think we kind of get hung up with, because we are spending a lot of time on acquisitions, but then, you know, that's only half of the deal. So if we're able to, you know, if I can help you guys out with that too, and just using different agreements, and how do you know, like so like my brother's deal was a seller finance deal. So I have the seller finance contract, right, that I use. The lease option deal was a lease option deal, which is a different contract altogether. The deal that I talked to the lady on the phone with today will probably be that same seller finance deal, but we might need to make some adjustments because it's in North Carolina, and I'm not 100% sure what the you know, security instrument is there. It's if it's a deed of trust or some other thing that I don't even know about, I'm gonna have to do the research about that and kind of figure that out. But you know, so we have to like adjust the paperwork for where we are working also. So you know, and then earlier today, it looks like I got another lease option possibility. I'm sending over the paperwork to them again this afternoon also, which happened on our calls this morning. So you know, if you all want to get in on the calls, I think we can all say who are on them in the mornings that we're getting a lot done and we're learning a lot. So that's about it. So I think that's pretty much all I got for you all today, unless you guys got some questions or comments, or you want to tell me to screw off or whatever you want to do. Or call me a
I'll
dick.
take C. I'll take
Somebody
C.
Somebody can call me a dick, right?
Good job on your deals, Dick.
I never freaking got the guy from the Dick Street place never got back to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, let's call it a day. Phone calls tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific time, if you guys want to hop on, and let's get some deals done.
Mark, I may email you this afternoon about my letter of intent, just to make sure it looks right, like if my numbers are looking right or something.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
All right.
And
appreciate it.
Alan, I want to hook up with you a little bit too, because I want to just talk to you about the marketing that place in Arkansas that we're talking about. So, all right, you guys,
Cool.
thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you being on here. Really, really love it. Love you guys, and thank you so much.
Appreciate it,
job.
Mark.
Yeah, you know how to hit me up. Hit me up if you need something.
All right, thanks.
All right, talk to you later.